Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Market Logic Evening Update. This is Tuesday, March 1st, first day of the month here. We got a decent sell-off today. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. I want to highlight something that I mentioned in the commentary last night when we went over these new weekly levels in the S&P futures. 1336, this lower left-hand quadrant, 1336 was the weekly A up. That's exactly to the tick where we traded last night in the overnight session. So we actually traded all the way up to the tick, 1336, overnight. We opened this morning around 1331 or so. I don't know where was there. Where were we at this morning? Actually, 1325. But we actually traded on the, or I'm sorry, over here, right around 1331, and we actually traded 1336 overnight. So we tagged that weekly. We failed up there. It wasn't so much that we failed there in the overnight session. It's the fact that we touched it overnight, and then on the intraday session, we were not able to take that out. So that was definitely a weekly failure to the upside, and sure enough, we rolled over today very hard. We confirmed the weekly low volatility level, which I told you yesterday was 1316. 1316. If we look at the intraday levels over here, the S&P broke really early this morning. It was right around 1322. So we actually made it. We had an intraday sell signal ahead of the weekly. We took that out at 1322, and then we ended up taking the weekly out at 1316. Basically, didn't hardly stop there. We went right through there, confirmed it. All the indices confirmed weeklies, just like last week. 2 weeks in a row, we got weekly sell signals. So, now we've got a market that's got a little bit of downside momentum, and we'll have the monthly levels after today's 24-hour session. We'll have those for you tomorrow night. But the monthlies are going to be, not too far below from where these levels are because we went out on the lows of the day, and we didn't have a whole lot of volatility the last 3, 4, 5 months. So these volatility levels are going to be really tight. That level will probably be at the level that you've been hearing a lot of people talk about in the news at 1275, 1280 area, where there's a 50-day moving average. A lot of people are looking for the market to trade down to that area. That tells me that there's a good chance that we could trade through that just to bring in some more shorts, shake some people out, and then if we hold that level, then we probably got a good buying opportunity down there. But this is not a market where I would be trying to bottom pick the market. Not when we get a weekly sell signal on Tuesday. We tested the weeklies yesterday in the Nasdaq and the Russell. We talked about that. We'll take a look at the Russell here, which had a really ugly day today, down 2.5%. And you're going to see the same thing when you look in the lower right-hand corner. You'll see these levels are really good. They actually, on an intraday level, on an intraday basis, I mean, we traded down this morning to 815. That's that level. We bounced off of it almost to the tick. Okay, so that was a good, valiant effort to stop the selling. We did bounce off of it, but then we rolled over, and sure enough, we made a new low, and the market basically sold off the rest of the day, closed on the lows. The weekly on the Russell, like I gave you last night, was 816, and sure enough, that's where the intraday was. So we took out the intraday and the weekly, and the Russell were both at the same level. Let's look at the Nasdaq, which was also very weak today. And you're going to see something very similar, how it bounces on this intraday here. You're going to see it right around, kind of broke through it, but we definitely came back above it, 23.35. And roughly the weekly was around 23.40. So both around the same area. So you'll notice yesterday we talked about how we bounced off of it. We thought maybe, that was the test, testing it on Monday. Although usually when we get those tests on Monday, that's not good to tag the weekly low volatility levels on a Monday. That's normally not a good thing. Here's the Dow, same story. Dow very weak today. So the lesson for the rest of the week: do not try to bottom pick this market. Second week in a row, we got weekly sell signals. Let's watch that 1275 level on the downside. See you guys tomorrow night.